A reading from the Gospel of John. Jesus said to Nicodemus, "Just as Moses lifted up the serpent in the desert, so must the Son of Man be lifted up, so that everyone who believes in him may have eternal life. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, so that everyone who believes in him might not perish, but might have eternal life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world might be saved through him. Whoever believes in him will not be condemned, but whoever does not believe has already been condemned, because he has not believed in the name of the only Son of God. And this is the verdict, that the light came into the world, but people preferred darkness to light, because their works were evil. For everyone who does wicked things hates the light and does not come toward the light, so that his works might not be exposed. But whoever lives the truth comes to the light, so that his works may be clearly seen as done in God." When reading today's gospel, it's important to understand that John's community was very much in the minority within Judaism to this point. They are, of course, still a sect within Judaism, but the differences between them and the rest of Judaism were to the point where it was almost irreconcilable. As a result, the Jewish Christians weren't just seen as a harmless sect of Judaism. They were viewed more on the heretical end of Judaism. And how do we know this? By the time John's gospel is written, the Jewish Christians are kicked out of the synagogues. They aren't welcome within mainstream Judaism. This event would help pave the way for the full separation of Christians from Judaism. So when we listen to today's gospel, it's important to understand these harsh contrasts from the righteous believers versus the condemned non-believers as a reactionary response to John's community essentially being excommunicated from Judaism. It really hurt. It was extremely painful. Their whole identity was essentially stripped away. As a result, it's reasonable for them to be angry, even to the point that the language might seem extreme by appearing black and white or right versus wrong. But what this passage does is provide comfort for those who are being marginalized by the rest of Judaism. With their identity being stripped away, it is the "For God so loved the world" passage which helped John's community get through a really tough time. As a result, seeing how John calls for the rest of Judaism as condemned, darkness, wicked, and not the truth helps communicate their feelings at the time. They were angry, and they had every right to feel angry. And for us, there are times when the world treats us as the minority, as Christians. We can be marginalized for going against the grain. Some of the world might even call us heretical. Maybe standing up for the truth could result in the unthinkable, being expelled from our own family. Following the truth with Christ as our guide can even result in our identity being essentially stripped away. Being a disciple of Christ can, just as it did for John's community, cause us to get angry. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not sinful to get angry. Even Jesus got angry, especially when it came to the injustices of the world. Maybe we might use some of the same language that John used in today's gospel. But what is important through our sufferings is remaining steadfast to being a follower of Jesus, no matter what the cost.